When your game is finally ready for the eyeballs of the masses, it's fun to just jump right in and promote your game wherever you feel like doing so. But if you promote your game too early, you can lose your momentum and actually do harm to your marketing campaign by showing things before they're ready or asking things before anyone can pay you. So to make sure you avoid the mistakes that I made, here are 6 things that you need to have to get started marketing your game. Number 1, you need to have a game HQ. What is a game HQ, you may ask? Essentially, it's a place on the internet that you use as a home base for your game. So what most people do is they set up a Twitter and a Facebook account, they tell people on Facebook to follow them on Twitter, they tell people on Twitter to like them on Facebook, and they do the same thing with 10 other internet properties, and before long, you end up with a giant confusing spiderweb of internet properties. And when someone finds you and is actually interested in your game, they have no clue where to go, and they're likely to just quit it and forget it. Instead, treat your website or blog as the inner wheel and all other internet properties as spokes. The only goal of the Game HQ is to sell the game. The only goal of everything else is to send traffic to the Game HQ. The most important point to make here, though, is that you want to own your Game HQ. If you treat Facebook, for example, as your Game HQ, one day they could change the algorithm or they could ban you, and then all that hard work is down the drain. The safest bet is to actually send them to a landing page with a domain name that you own, or to a blog with a domain name that you own, or an email list or something else that you can control and make sure that no one can ever take away from you no matter what happens. Number 2, you need a trailer. These days, you need video to sell your game. Not only can trailers increase conversion of upwards to 10 to 30%, but they show players what your game is very quickly. If you're lucky enough to be or know a video guy, that's awesome. If not, get to Googling. Your trailer is extremely important, but this should not keep you from publishing. Done is better than perfect. Keep it 1 to 2 minutes, show some of the coolest gameplay in your game, use a piece of music that matches the mood of your game, and publish it. Don't overdo it, don't overthink it, but just get it done and get it out there. Number 3, you need screenshots. You need a few high-resolution screenshots of your game to show off what the gameplay looks like. Some people prefer screenshots or can't watch a video at the moment, so you need to cater to them too. But it's also important that people see what the game is instantly when they load the page. They can very clearly tell the art style, the type of the game, etc. The second they load in, at a glance, they should understand the basics of what your game is and what it does. These days, a lot of smart developer marketers even go a step further and they make their screenshots animated GIFs, which is pretty cool because it's like a hybrid of a screenshot and a video. It shows what it needs to show, but it also shows you a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of movement, and it just looks really cool on the page. Number 4, you need an elevator pitch. If you've never heard of this concept before, essentially an elevator pitch is a pitch about your game that is short enough to tell someone about on an elevator. It's a dumb name, I think so, but it's really important. If someone asks you what your game is or what it's about, you need to have a 1 to 2 sentence reply that defines the essence of your game. Super Meat Boy is a brutally hard skill-based platformer about a meat sack trying to save his girlfriend made of band-aids. It's simple, fast and easy, and you can always elaborate if they ask questions. This pitch is important for a ton of things, but most importantly, you need to know in a sentence or two what your game is about so you don't talk for 10 minutes or write 3 paragraphs about it. You will lose people if you do this. Number 5, you're going to need a press kit. Now don't freak out, a press kit is not as hard or as scary as it sounds. A press kit is just a web page that has a bunch of resources that people that want to write about you can use in their content. For example, it would have screenshots, a video, an icon, quotes, awards, features, information, a logo, etc. It's basically a kit that you can give to someone so they have everything they need to write about your game without contacting you. It makes the process quick and easy. It's a lot simpler than it sounds, and if you follow along with this video, you're going to have most of the stuff that you need for a press kit anyway, so you might as well just create one. And finally, number 6, you need a point of distribution. Essentially, this would be something like Steam or Google Play or the App Store, but this can also be a payment processor or PayPal or a place that you sell or distribute your game. I highly recommend that your point of distribution be your Game HQ, or at least one click away from it with minimal distractions. This is different from something like a landing page because this is the part of the process where you actually have to give your game to the player after they've already paid. Now, if you charge for a download on your site, it can get really complicated on how you keep track of which game goes where or taking control of piracy or any of those things. A store like Steam or the App Store or Google Play is a better option, but it's not always perfect for your game, so you gotta know what you need and what you want. So that's it. That's all you really need to get started marketing your game. It's a lot simpler than you might think in your head, but these 6 things are really all you need. Once you have these, it's all up to your elbow grease and your effort to actually get your game out there. So that means you gotta get off your ass and actually get yourself out there.